Hey guys, in this video, we're going to add the ability to like and dislike posts. This will be set up similar to the previous video with how we added followers. We'll add some checks to make sure a user cannot like and dislike a post at the same time. If they were to try to like and then dislike a post, we will remove the like first before adding the dislike, similar to how it's done on YouTube. Okay, with that said, let's go ahead and get started by updating our models.py file. So first, open up that models.py file, and in our post model here, I'm going to add two fields. They're both going to be main and many fields, just like how we did our followers down here, and it's going to hold either likes or dislikes. So below the author here, I'm going to add a likes field and set that equal to models.many to many field. We'll hold user objects, so pass in user. We'll set blank equals true, so they can have 0 likes or dislikes. And then we will add a related name equaling likes. And now I'm going to do the same thing for dislikes. So create a field called dislikes equals models.many to many field, pass in user, blank equals true, related name equals dislikes. Go ahead and save that. And those are all the changes we need for our models.py file. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up a terminal, and I need to first activate my virtual environment. So I'll type source env/bin/activate, and then I'll run Python 3 manage.py make migrations, and then we'll run Python 3 manage.py migrate. Okay, and with those changes made, we should be good to keep going now. So the next step will be to add the views for the likes and dislikes. So I'll jump into my views.py file, and I'll scroll down here to the bottom. So below this remove follower function or class, I'm going to add another class. I'm going to call this one add like. Class add like. We'll pass in our login required mixin and their generic view class. And this is going to be similar to the followers views, where I'm going to have a post request in a form that either adds something to this field or removes it from this field. And so I'm going to go ahead and create a post method, def post, and I'll pass in self request pk star args and star quargs. And now from here, first I need to go ahead and grab that post that we're on, that we want to like or dislike. So I'll do post equals post.objects.get, and then pk equals pk. And so now here I need to do a couple of things. First, I want to go ahead and if this user is not currently in this field, I want to add them to this main to many field. So I need to loop through this likes field here. And to do that, this main to many field, we want to return a list from that field, and there's a .all function that will let us do that. So first, let's create a simple for loop, and I'll explain that so hopefully it makes a little more sense. So for, we'll call it like in post.likes, which is the main to many field, .all, which will return a list that we can iterate through. If the like is equal to the request user, which is saying if the user is in this has already liked this post, then we want to set is like equal to true. I'm going to break out the loop. And up here by default, I'm going to set is like to false. So if they have already liked the post, this variable here is like will be set to true. And then if this variable is set to false, we can go ahead and add them to the list. And so down here, I can do if not is like, so if it's false, then we can do post.likes.add and pass in request.user. And then if they have already liked it and they click the button again, we can then go ahead and have them removed from the list. So we can go ahead and do the opposite here and do if is like post.likes.remove request.user. So all we're doing there is just checking if they've already liked it. If they have, we want to add them to the list. If they've already liked it, they want to go ahead and remove their like. That way they can undo something they already did. Okay, with that, I'm gonna go ahead and stop here now. There's more we need to add to this later. But first, it'll make more sense if we start building the dislike view first, because that kind of works inside of here as well. So let's come down here and build our dislike view. So class dislike, login required mixin, and our generic view class. And this will be pretty much the same thing, but opposite. So first we'll get our post method, pass itself, request, pk, and star args, star quargs. And also, I don't think I said yet, this pk will be for the post object. So whatever post we're on, we'll pass the pk in there. So that's why I can get the post with just that pk. So post.objects.get pk equals pk. Now, once again here, we want to have an is dislike variable, and it will set the false. And then we're going to loop through all of our dislikes. Post.dislikes.all. And if the dislike is equal to the request.user, then they've already liked the post. And we can set is dislike to true and break out the loop. And then we can go ahead and either add or remove the dislike based on what they've what this is dislike value is. So if not is dislike, post dot dislikes dot add request dot user. I guess we could just use an else here instead of doing two if statements, but either one really will work fine. Is dislike post dot dislikes dot remove request dot user. Okay, so now we have both of our dislikes, or both our like and our dislike views created, or at least started. There's one more thing here that we need to add though. Well, a couple of things, but one more thing we're gonna add right now. And that is if they've liked the post, we also don't want them to be able to like and dislike at the same time. So the way we're gonna do this is we're gonna check in both these views before we do anything else, before we do any of this checking for the likes, we're going to check to see if they've already disliked the post. So if they're in the dislike view. So pretty much we're going to do this exact same thing, except for the dislike. So really, I can go up here, I can go ahead and just copy all of this right here. And come paste that above all the like stuff right there. And then I can go ahead and copy this like stuff down here, copy that, and paste that above the dislike. So now we're checking before we do anything else if it's in the likes or dislikes for the opposite view. And then all we need to do is if it is in that list, we want to go ahead and remove it, because if this dislike view runs, that means that the user has clicked the dislike button. So if there's a like for this user on this post, we want to go ahead and remove that now. So I can go ahead and we'll do our dislike first. So I'll go ahead and below this like for loop, I can type if is like, then we can do post.likes.remove request.user. And then up here, my likes view, once again, if this runs, that means they click the like button. So if they've already disliked the video, we want to go ahead and remove that. So if this is true, this is dislike is true, we will go ahead and remove it. So if is this dislike, post.dislikes.remove request.user. Okay, perfect. Hopefully that made sense. That's the bulk of our views. We still need to return something, but the way we're going to do this, it will be a little easier to do, or easier to explain at least, once we've already created our forms and set those up, because we're going to pull a value from there. Okay, so that's the bulk of our views and what we're going to do there. The next step will be create a URL for this. So let's jump into our urls.py and create two new URL patterns for both these views. First, at the top here, I'm going to import both of them. Add like, dislike, and then over here,
I'm going to go ahead and add 2 new paths. So do a path, and this will be, actually, let's put this path, let's put it up by the other the post views, just to keep them kind of ordered and organized a little better. So path up here will be post slash, and then the post primary key int pk, and then do slash like, and this will go to the add like dot as view, since it's a class-based view, with the name equaling like. And then we'll do the same thing for our remove like, or dislike, add dislike view. So do a post slash, and then the primary key of the post, and then slash dislike. And then we'll go ahead and do add dislike dot as view, and then we'll give this a name equaling dislike. Okay, now with that done, let's go ahead and add the form now using these that will send a post request to these views to our template. And we'll start with our post list template, and we'll also add this to our profile and our post detail as well, but for now we'll put it here to start. So looking at this template, down here, where we're going through all the posts, we'll see the post body, and then we have our stretch link anchor tag right here. And this stretch link will go to the next position relative, which is this div right here. So we need to make sure we're outside of this div. So we're outside this div here, but still inside of our column up here. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna create another div. I'm gonna give it a class of d-flex to make it a flex box, and flex-row to make it a to make all the buttons side by side. Inside of this div, create a form with a method equaling post and an action equaling URL with the name of like, which we just created in our URLs, and we'll pass in the post.pk because we need to pass that pk in our URL within the int pk field that we added into our URL. Now inside this form here, we need to go ahead and add our CSRF token. So we'll add our CSRF underscore token. And then below this, we need to add 2 fields. First, we want a button that will actually be able to submit the form. And we're add a style to this to remove the generic button styles. I'm supposed to go background color of transparent, and then border none, and then box shadow, and this should be a semicolon right there. Okay, with those styles added, let's add a type of submit, and then we can go ahead and close off this button tag right here. Inside this button tag, I want to use a font awesome icon, which we already added earlier in the series, so that should already be available in our project. So I can go ahead and just create an I tag, give it a class of FAR, FA-thumbs dash, we'll do thumbs, it would be thumbs dash up for the like button. So we'll go ahead and close off our form tag right here. I'm going to go and copy this and do the same thing again, but for the dislike button. So we change our action to dislike, to send it to the dislike view, and then change this thumbs up to thumbs down. And now there's one more thing we need to add to each of these forms. We need to add an input field. This input field will be hidden. It will just have a name of next and a value being whatever path that we're currently on. This way we can return to our previous view, our previous template, without having to actually hard code that in. So if I call this form here, or call this, use this view that we created on our post list, our social feed page, it will take us back to the social feed. If I did it on our profile, it takes us back to the profile, or the post detail takes us back to the post detail. So this will be a way just to not have to create separate views to go back to those pages. It's just a little easier that way. So first we'll do our like. So above the button, I'm going to create an input, give it a type of hidden, so it doesn't show up anything, doesn't show anything on the screen, and a name equaling next, and then a value equaling 2 curly braces and requests.path. I'm going to go ahead and just copy this and put it down here as well above our button for our dislike. Save that. Okay, now with that done, we can go ahead and finish up our views. So back in our views.py, down
At the bottom, we'll start with our like. So at the bottom of our like view right here, we need to go ahead and return something. So what we can do is we can import this here in a second. So first we need to get the next value that we just passed into our form. So I can type next equals request dot post in all caps dot get next comma and then just in quotes a slash, and then we can go ahead and return an HTTP response with this next variable redirecting to it. And Django has a redirect or an HTTP response redirect that we can import. So up here at the top of our view, we'll go below this Django URLs. We'll import from Django.http import HTTP response redirect. And then down back in our view, we can go ahead and return that. So it'd be right here. We can return HTTP response redirect and just pass in the next value. And I can do that and just go and just copy this and do the exact same thing for our dislike. And that will finish up our reviews. Now we can return the response when we're done, which just returns to the previous page that we're on. Okay, with that done, let's go ahead and test this real quick. So that should first make sure we run our server. So we'll come up here, we'll do a Python 3 manage.py run server. We got an error. Cannot import name add dislike from social.views. Did I misspell something somewhere? I just put dislike. I didn't put add in front of it. Let's put add. Save that. Let's come back here. Now it's running. We'll go ahead and log in. And now we have these dislike and like buttons. If we click on one, it looks like it works. Nothing seems to happen though. Let's go ahead and add a little counter next to these buttons that shows how many likes or dislikes, so we can see if it's adding or removing the like or dislike. So let's jump back into our Sublime text editor, and let's go back into our post list.html, and inside of our button here, let's go ahead and add a span tag. So I'll start with my like, put a space here and type span, and close off that span tag right there. Now inside of here, I can pass in a Django template variable. So I'll do 2 curly braces. And inside of here, I can get the post.likes by typing post.likes. And this post is coming from right up here. And so all of our posts, whatever posts we're currently on, we'll get that post, get those likes. And we can get all of them by typing .all and do .count to get the length of them. This is just to get the total length of how many items are in that main-to-many relationship field. And then we can do a similar thing down here for our dislikes. So we'll put a space, put a span tag. And inside of here, we can type post.dislikes.all.count. And make sure we put in our 2 curly braces around it. And we'll go ahead and save that. Let's jump back into our browser here, reload the page, and now we have 1 dislike here. We hit like, that dislike goes away and adds a like. I can't like it more than once. If I click it again, it removes my like. And so I can go ahead through here, I can like whatever I want, dislike whatever, and it's all seems to be working well. Let's go ahead and add this on to our post detail. So we go to the post detail, there's no buttons there. We also want it on our post list on our profile. So now let's add that to the other pages. So first we'll go to our profile, or first actually let's copy it from our post list. It should be just simple copy and paste. So I'll copy all of this, this whole div up here. Copy that, go into our profile, come down to where we have our post list. And we'll put this, once again, we have our position relative, so we'll put this right below that div, save that, and we'll go into our post detail, and below our post body, we'll put it right there. Save that. Now let's jump back into our application, reload the page. Now let's go to our profile, and there we go. This post still has this 1 and 0 likes. If I click dislike, that like goes away. If I go back to the feed on this test5 hello post, it now has a dislike instead of a like. If I like it again and I jump into the post detail It's also showing there. I can also like and dislike there. So this is all working really good. And that's all we're going to do in this video. So now we have our likes and dislikes working like they should be. We're starting to have getting pretty close to having a working social media app. We'll come back. We still have a few more videos left at least. So we'll come back again here soon and add some more features to this. But for now, we'll stop here for the day. All the code will be in the description below. The starting and ending code like it usually is, as well as a link to the written tutorial. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.